what a week. What a week. Fuck that. What a couple months. I don't even know what quarantine day it is. It's month 4. Does that sound about right? It's been a wild ride, man. The times are dividing us. And we got to come together, please. Can we come together? We need to come together. But maybe not. Maybe this is the way it's all supposed to go. Maybe this is the way it's all supposed to go, and we wouldn't even have realized our impending doom until 2 generations from now when they've got artificial intelligence in the White House as a president, and they're like, yeah, that's where their destruction began, right there. The moment that the Kardashians went viral. That's when it all went fucking downhill. I think these times have really divided people into a bunch of different groups. You know, like, who are you? Are you the one that's not paying attention and you just want to get back to having your fucking latte? I just miss my pumpkin spice macchiato latte. Is that you? Are you the one that's out there protesting, boots to gravel? Are you the one that just can't wait to get back to work? Have you lost your job? Have you lost your house, your husband, your wife, all of the above? These times are the ones that are dividing and defining us. Who am I? I've been asking myself that. Who am I? Because I don't want to be ignorant. Ignorance isn't bliss. And that's what I think we're realizing now, that ignorance isn't bliss, man. Not in these times. Not when people are really struggling. Not when people are dying. We've got to really realize that there are systems that are unfair and inconsistent. And we have to do something about it. Now, I do know that there is racial discrimination. There are discrepancies. There are disparities. All of the terrible D's. None of the good D's. And there's a lot of unfairness. There's a lot of, disadvantages to have with just having a certain skin color. That's a reality. I think we can say that's a fucking reality. And as a woman who's already experienced different inconveniences just because I have a pussy, I can't imagine being a black woman in this culture, in this society. And I say that from the perspective that I've had watching it, seeing things happen, witnessing it with my own 2 fucking blonde-haired, well, it's dyed, my roots are dark. Hello truth, coming through in quarantine, but you fuckers knew that anyways. I always have roots. I'm not afraid to show my truth. I always have roots. But that's coming from the side of this blonde-haired, brown-eyed white chick. I've seen it. I've seen it go on in society. It's real. Systemic racism is real. And we do need to talk about it more. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it because there's babies. There's children. We got little children running around. We have to make it better for them. I had this conversation with my girl, actually, who got me this jacket that I'm wearing. If you're listening and you want to watch, you already know you got to go to the Patreon page. Join the club, patreon.com/Jessimae Peluso. It means big and hairy, bitch, in Italian. But this jacket is so dope. It's got Jesus is psychedelic on the back. Jesus is psychedelic. But I had this conversation with my girl, Jackie Stang, from Meet Delic, about all of this, about everything that's going on. And I think one of the problems is living in the moment. That cliche has really fucked us up. You got to live for the moment, man. You got to live in the moment. Living in the moment is what's got us in this scenario. Not really seeing what's going on and thinking about the future is what's gotten us in this scenario. We can no longer live in the moment. We need to live in the fucking future and think about what's going on then, not now. We can't just be in our bubbles anymore. Living in the moment is only convenient if you get all of the rights and equality that this country has to offer. It's not convenient for those who don't, i.e. black people and Native Americans and Mexicans and Asians. If you're not white, it's not convenient for you to live in the moment. So we've got to sort of step out of our comfort zone. It's been a big nap. It's been a big nap for a lot of us in a lot of different areas of our lives, careers, a lot of different socioeconomic statuses are feeling the brunt of what's going on now because we've had it so good for so long. But now we're feeling it. Big businesses are feeling it. Yeah, fuck them. Well, they're still made up of people. Small businesses are feeling it. We've got to take care of small businesses. I feel like that's what this country is built on. But I feel a responsibility to voice my opinion because I have this platform that is a valuable commodity to have in life. To be able to have a platform where people will listen, where people will pay to listen, where people will take time out of their day. I'm sure there are mothers and people who are working. I know a lot of you working overnight listening and working long hours, and nurses. You guys have all reached out to me. And I know that I have an opinion, and it's important for me to use my platform to speak it. And here's the thing. Just because I'm a comedian doesn't mean I'm not a human. I think you fuckers forget that. Because sometimes when I try and say something, it's like, oh, you just stick to the jokes. Okay. And then when I go to the jokes, you're like, oh, don't you ever think about anything real? Well, fuck you. Let me say what I want to say. Let me say what I want to motherfucking say. And I think it's important for people to have access to the news that is not politically funded, that isn't funded by big business. And it's hard to find that. It's hard to find news outlets that don't have, billions of dollars or millions of dollars in their pockets funded by politicians and companies. Where do you go? I mean, I had to ask myself that. Where am I getting my fucking news? You know where I get my news? Rogan. I get my news from Rogan. I do. I trust him and Sam Tripoli. So I'm kind of in the middle because it's like a well-informed person and also well-informed conspiracy theorist person. But there's value in all of that. I need a little bit of a break from the heaviness of reality when I'm reading these news stories. But media is so polarized by companies and politicians with their own invested interests that you can't really trust it all. You can't trust the overtly liberals and you can't trust overtly conservatives. Isn't there like a middle ground? Isn't there like can't we just have an unbiased news source? So I've done some digging and I found some resources and places that I feel like I can at least get some news without it feeling like it's coming with some ulterior motive. Some other goal. I just want the truth. I guess it's a hard thing to get in today's society. But then again, it's not because of social media. And that's what we're realizing, that it's so much harder to lie. Because of the videos. I mean, the videos are telling the truth, man. The videos are fucking painful to watch. And we need to watch it. As a people, we need to fucking watch it, man. Because those aren't deep fakes. The videos that we're watching are not deep fakes. And I've seen it. Like I said, with my own two eyes, I've seen it happen. And we have to speak out about it. But we also... While there is racial disparity, there are racial disparities and extreme, like the difference in the gap between white and black people is apparent. It's apparent in our healthcare system. It's apparent in our job hiring, the way we hire people for jobs. The disparity is apparent there. It's apparent in how you're treated just shopping and being out in life as a human. I've fucking seen it. We've all seen it. But there's also something else going on that I think is happening. And I hope that a laser doesn't hit me in the forehead and like shoot me through my patio door. But you don't have to be a genius to realize the convenience of this like racial tension that we're having right now on the heels of this coronavirus, on the heels of COVID-19. Where the fuck is that? On the heels of this quarantine. So we're locked up for months, and now there's riots happening. It seems a little convenient because people are tensions are higher because we've been locked up. So to add this, the race riots and people out there protesting, which are, there's a fine line there as well. But it makes me wonder what else is going on. Why now? Why now? Why all these riots now? And not that we don't need it. That's not what I'm saying. I think we fucking do. Sometimes, shit has to break down for there to be a breakthrough. You guys have heard me say that shit. I learned that from my life coach, Brett Costin. That's right, I said life coach. I live in LA. That's what you get when you move here. You get a fucking life coach and a latte. They hand it to you when you cross a state line. You just get a fucking life coach and a latte, and that's how you live your life. Oat milk latte, because we don't like to hurt cows, But that brings me to my next point. We're okay with hurting black people, but not okay with hurting whales and animals and dolphins and cows and dogs. I feel like we have more organization for pet adoption than we do for police brutality. It's fucking crazy. But all of that being said, I acknowledge that all of it is real and it is disgusting. And I'm happy that we're having these conversations now. Doesn't it feel like there's something else going on? Doesn't it feel kind of convenient that it's happening now? Don't we have to ask ourselves as people who benefits from us being segregated? Don't we have to at least ask that? Because somebody's benefiting. And I'm not saying there are puppets up in the sky that are controlling everything, but I do think there are like 6 or 7 really rich white people who are running things right now. I think it has to do with the banks. I'm not sure. I've read a little bit. I'm not a fucking, scholar when it comes to this. I don't know it all. But from what I've read and my conversations with friends who are also reading, it feels awfully convenient that all this shit's happening now when people are already experiencing disparity and people are already losing their jobs and they're sick and they're tired and they're sick and tired and now these protests? What? I don't trust it. I don't trust it and I don't like it. I think there's 6 or 7 really rich white motherfuckers that are sitting back in their fancy chairs made out of camel skin with llama fur and pig eyelashes on the handrest, and they're just counting their Benjamins. Because these motherfuckers run the banks, and the banks run the world. And I think they profit off of our segregation. I think the powers that be profit off of us being segregated. And maybe it's crazy. Maybe I smoke too much weed. Maybe I have friends who are conspiracy theorists. I could be wrong. But why now? Why are we fighting now? That's what we have to ask ourselves. But also, on the flip of that, I think leaning into this Black Lives Matter movement and what it stands for and how to dismantle the systems that are at play that have caused the uprising, like the police and, companies and various things in society that exist that are segregating and that are discriminating people based on their skin color, which is a real thing. We have to start small. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that the protesting is a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move. Look at it. It's around the world. All 50 states protested. That is unprecedented. They wrote Black Lives Matter right on the same street as the White House. That's pretty fucking crazy, and you can see that shit from a satellite. There are pictures that astronauts took. Obviously, they had to zoom in a little bit, but you can see that fucking thing from a satellite. That's how good the satellites are. Our technology is more successful in its systems than our people, than our police. So we have to address that. You're probably like, oh, fuck, bitch, I wanted to listen to you talk about being high and stoned and your dogs. Well, I gotta address it. I have to, because it's affected me emotionally. And this is my motherfucking podcast. This is my place. This is my space. It's not a safe space. There's nothing safe about it. We have to realize that there are no safe spaces, except for your home. Your home is kind of safe, but then, you walk from the room and your boyfriend leaves you in a fart cloud, and you realize it's not a safe space. But this is my platform, and I have to address it because I feel it. I literally, last week, when I went to do Weeds Day, it just didn't feel right. Because of everything that was going on, it didn't feel right. It took me a concerted effort to bring a positive energy to Weeds Day. And then it felt like, not like a lie, but it felt just a little disingenuous to be so uppity when I wasn't feeling it 100%. So I've got to put it someplace. I'm not on the road. I am limited to where I can go because of this fucking quarantine that I swear we are going to find out is not how we should have handled this whole entire scenario. And it did more detrimental things to our society, our economy than anything. But there are emotions that I feel and things that I've been thinking about, and I'm driving my man nuts about it. He's like, you just gotta fucking, it's like 8 a.m. Can you chill out? I'm like, did you see what Trump said today? Can you just chill out? But we have to start small. And maybe the protesting can be categorized as a smaller step, but it doesn't feel small. It feels pretty fucking big when all 50 states are joining in. It feels pretty fucking big when we're painting things in the street that they're seeing from the stars. It feels pretty fucking big when the daughter of a man who was murdered under the knee of a cop feels strong enough to say, my daddy changed the world. That's powerful. That's big. But I do feel that while we're making big steps, we also can't forget to make smaller steps. I think smaller steps can create the lasting change. And it has to do with our habits as people. I've been listening to The Habit Loop, which is a great book, and it breaks down individual behaviors and habits and basically how individuals have habits and groups of people have routines. So if we can break down our individual habits, we can create a new routine for society. If we can start small, like start with, those habits that individuals have in society, like when you see implicit bias, when you see people in grocery stores being racist or saying racist things, you got to nip that shit in the bud. You got to Caesar Milan that shit. We have to start saying something. We have to start holding people accountable. Your racist aunt at the table. And I realize that's hard. It's hard to change someone's habit that has been instilled in them since birth, and their parents since birth, and it's generational habits. It's generational racism. Oh, she said the R word. Yeah. It's hard to break that habit when you were taught it, when it was in your epigenetics, when it's flowing through your DNA. Not me. I'm lucky. I come from two parents who are very open. My mom worked for the Teachers Union of Syracuse, New York, Syracuse Teachers Union, STA, for years. She represented a lot of people of color, helping them get better wages, helping them find language to defend themselves and speak up for themselves and get what they deserve. My mom did a lot of work for people, and my father, I never saw color as a kid because I wasn't taught to. And I guess as you grow, you learn about labels, and it's just sort of an identification process that you go through. We identify things. Labels help us map our environment. It helps our brain gauge if we're safe or not. But beyond that, labels also provide a place for racism to exist within the confines of labeling people. I was lucky enough, I didn't grow up with parents who felt the need to show me that's an Asian person and that's a black person, that's a Latino person. They were just people. But I also grew up in a very integrated city. Syracuse was pretty mixed. It still is pretty culturally diverse. We have a lot of different Asians and Spanish people and black people. My high school was completely diverse. It wasn't an all-white school. We had, our principal was black, and a lot of our teachers were different ethnicities. So I feel so fortunate that I saw that from a young age, because I wasn't born with racism in my mind. I wasn't born with a racist approach to people or society. And so that's where having those conversations with your aunt and your racist aunt and your racist uncle at the dinner table can be a little fucking difficult. Listen, believe me, just because my parents weren't that way doesn't mean I didn't have family members that didn't say a lot of questionable shit that if they said in a neighborhood full of the people they're talking about, they probably wouldn't have fucking survived. We have to start small. We have to nip implicit bias in the butt. We gotta we gotta shut the Karens down. We gotta start holding the Karens accountable and the police accountable. This whole defund the police is trending. I don't know if that's the right way to go, folks. I don't know if that's the right way to fucking go. The police also police society. When there's crazy motherfuckers on bath salts, when there's drunk drivers, when there are people breaking into houses, we kind of need the police. But we also need to fix the white supremacy that exists within the police. That's apparent. That is a fact. We need to hold these fuckers accountable. And we have to stop protecting our own. I protect my own. No. Because the moment you as an individual sacrifice the rights of a group of people for the sake of your team is the moment everything breaks down. The moment the values of your team, i.e. police, becomes more important than a whole entire people, that's where it fucking breaks down. So, I don't have the answers. I don't claim to know everything that's going on. I just know that people are struggling, people are suffering and dying. So we got to do something different. We got to stop living in the fucking moment. We've had it for years, the big nap. We lived in the moment long enough. Now it's time to live in the future. For the future. Now it's time to start nipping little racist comments in the bud. Start nipping them away. But also, it's a fine line, because we also have to be able to laugh at the dark shit, the harder things in society and life. We have to allow people who are artists to have a platform to express themselves for people, so that you can also relate to artists and feel represented. Did I put too many letters in that word? I feel like I did. Represented? Represented? Represented. You guys know what I'm trying to fucking say. So this is my platform, and I want everyone to know that I know what's going on. I am paying attention. I'm taking my time and processing it, because my whole life I've just reacted to things because I'm a comedian. That's my nature. It's how I create. So I've taken time now to sort of sit back, take a moment, and consider what's going on. Because the reality is, there's more to it than meets the eye. That's all I'm saying. Just be open to that. Be open to that. Just know that there are motherfuckers profiting off of our segregation. And also know that you can help deal with the racism that exists in society by taking small steps. It's those small steps that change behavior. It changes the routine of society. So just start small. Start small, And don't overly compliment black people, because that's weird too. Don't be, don't, hey girl, don't do all that. Don't just defend them. Help them. If you see some bitch being racist at the grocery store, let her know. Shut her ass down. Take away her fucking navel oranges and her asparagus. I'm sorry, Karen, you can't fucking shop here. You can't shop here. You can't, Karen, you racist bitch. You cannot. Put the asparagus down. You're not welcome. And as a business, we need to be accountable for how we're hiring people. Stop being racist. Start looking into black people. Hey, guess what? They're talented too. You don't say, yeah, racist, Rick. I do. I do say. Because I've grown up with them. I've worked with them for years. They're people. Just like there are good and bad, white, black, Asian, Latino people, there are very talented Asian, black, Latino people. Start putting them on the fucking workforce. We got to stand up. We got to start saying shit. Got to let motherfuckers know. No, sir. You cannot ask to touch that woman's daughter's hair. It's creepy because you're a dude. And it's also unnecessary. Please, stop. God, I just want to touch your hair. Don't touch your hair. Where's the book? I got to show you the book. Is it here? I hope I have the fuck. Here we go. Right here. My girl Phoebe Robinson. You can't touch my hair. And other things I still have to explain. This is a great book about being a black woman in America. Not that I am one, but check it out. This will help you. Use this as a guide. A guide on how to not talk to black people. But also, let's just take small steps. Small steps for the future. That's all I ask. Okay? That's all I wanted to say for that part. Just a little, let me just have a moment to just address. This is my State of the Union. This is my Stoned of the Union. I am stoned. That's funny. I need to make that a segment. I'm writing it down. Stoned of the Union, where I will address things that are going on in society. Okay? You may not have seen me smoke, but it doesn't mean I didn't. And this is a Dr. Peluso episode, lest we forget. Let me get into these Dr. Peluso questions that you guys asked me. I couldn't get to all of them on my IG story, so we are doing this on the podcast now every week. I will try to answer every single question you have. It may be difficult, but let's answer a couple. Julio Demon, yikes. Do you have any family in the mob or cartel? No, I don't. I don't think we could have gotten into the mob or cartel because my last name, Peluso, literally means big and hairy. Google it. It means large and hairy. We should have been in the mob, considering that. You're just like a big ass hairy Italian dude, but no. My father couldn't even handle answering a phone. A gun? Are you kidding me? He wouldn't have any toes left. He would have shot off all his fucking toes. Randy 402, the astronauts that left this Jumanji world had it right. Would you ever go to space? I don't know, man. It seems a little fucking scary to go to outer space. I would go to outer space if I were terminal. Is that fucked up? If I was definitely going to die, I would go. If I was sick, I would go. But just to go, like on a commercial fucking flight, SpaceX style, I don't know that I have the balls. I don't even, this quarantine has made me such a homebody, borderline agoraphobic. I don't even want to go to Target, and that's saying a lot, bitch. I don't even want to go to Target. Hello? I do miss Marshalls, though. I do fucking miss Marshalls. Trophy Nuts asks, what is a healthy amount of times adult should drop a deuce? Twice a day? Once a day? There's a lot of speculation on this topic. I personally, I have a very, very active system. Okay? Very, very active. I got to take my jacket off because I'm sweating. I was on my soapbox for so long. I feel better now. I'm letting it all out. Now that we're talking about poop, I am a unique individual because I have such a fast system. I poop every time I eat. I poop a lot, man. I poop a lot. I'm a bunny rabbit. I every time I eat, 2 times in the morning. Then if I eat like a little snack, I'm letting out a couple little cutesies, like little Tootsie Rolls. Teensy little Tootsie Rolls. I'm like a bunny rabbit. If you see me do stand-up comedy, you know I talk about this. I poop in flight like a deer, like a woodland creature running through the woods. I have a very high metabolism. So I don't claim that everyone should have that, but you should at least be going once a day. And if you're not going once a day, you need to incorporate some whole foods into your diet. Reduce the sugar, reduce the bread and the carbs, those sugary carbs. You need to incorporate some leafy greens, motherfucker. You need some roughage. You need some, just eat some kale and celery. You need some stuff that has actual fiber to it. And a lot of you fuckers like to juice. Juicing doesn't do anything. I mean, you might get some nutrients from juicing, but the fiber molecule is stripped in the juicing process, so you lose the fiber, and the fiber is what you want. That's what's going to keep you pooping. Godspeed, man. I hope you can figure your poop out. Sleeners, Kathleeners. Wow. That's a stretch of a name. Sleeners, Kathleeners. Just wanted to say I love what you and Carly spoke about George Floyd on Secret Keepers Club. I was on Carly Aquilino's fun podcast, Secret Keepers Club, and we spoke about everything that's going on. We're speaking from the heart. I don't claim to know everything, and I don't think I'm right. I just have to say how I feel about the situation, and that could change. I think we have to allow people just to have an opinion and realize that it's okay if things change. But I stand by what I say right now, for sure. Chad Stick 00. Let's take a shot together. You're hilarious. Quarantine. Sorry. COVID. I don't want your fucking amoebas, Chad. Are you aware of what's going on in society, Chad? There are amoebas everywhere. But maybe afterwards. Duncan Dabs Daily. Can you get rid of a gag reflex? Am I a porn star? Why do you think I know this? Why do you think I know how to get rid of a gag reflex? You can. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. I have not succeeded, but I have taught myself how to squirt, so I'm halfway there. I didn't go to college. I went to Google. I'm the American dream. God bless. Good luck. Godspeed. Go slow. I think if you go slow and you just... I literally was just going to be like this. Go slow. Aaron I. West. How should I quit smoking? Cold turkey. No, you know what you should do? Honestly, you should read The Habit Loop, because it talks about that exact thing. Because essentially you're addicted, but it's also become habitual. Smoking has become a habit. So you just have to change the habit. You have to change how... what your reward is from it. So if you change out a little bit of maybe instead of putting a cigarette in your mouth, put a carrot stick. That might help. I was going to say a dick, but I didn't want to be salacious because honestly, logistically, you can't just put a dick in your mouth every time you want to have a cigarette. Maybe you can. If you can, try it. And if you're a straight guy and you're gross, well, maybe you realize you're gay and you're welcome. But check out The Habit Loop because it does offer a very digestible and logical approach to changing your habits and to create a new routine. So check that out. That's what I'm going to say. The way you can quit smoking is by reading The Habit Loop. Martin White 82. Did one of your dances with a Batman mask and wife's G-string on failed miserably? I need to see that video. You put on your wife's G-string and a Batman mask and danced. Quarantine's fun. See, I doubt you would have done that if we weren't in quarantine. I doubt you would have done that. I doubt you would have succeeded. I hope you had a good time. Hopefully she gave you a blowjob just for the effort. I would have, just for the effort. If my man did all that, I'd be like, babe, get on over here. Pull that thing out and let's have some fun, Batman. Let me be your Robin. Kevin Nett says, water-based lube or silicone? Asking for Mike Pence. Well, I think water-based is healthier. Some people have a reaction to silicone. And also, I don't know how I feel about having silicone in my coochie. I'd have to do some research. I don't know enough about that, but my gut tells me water-based sounds so much healthier. There's also weed lube, which I have yet to try. I want to try some of that weed lube. If there's any companies out there that want to send me samples, send me samples. I will give not a live review. Can you imagine? Oh yeah, it's good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The lube or the sex, all of it. It's two thumbs in. I'm giving it 2 thumbs in. Dysentery Sean. Wow. Why do my balls smell like honey? Really? Is that worked on any girl? Also, do they really smell like honey? That's kind of gross. See, when something that shouldn't smell sweet smells sweet, it makes me think there's a chemical imbalance. You ever smell syrup in the air? I remember one time I was living in New York City, and just outside of the tunnel, Holland Tunnel, when you get over to Jersey, it all smelled like syrup for a long ass time, and it wasn't right. It shouldn't smell like syrup unless I'm at a Waffle House or an IHOP. I shouldn't smell it unless I'm at the fucking Cracker Barrel. At 8 a.m., why am I smelling syrup? So your nuts smelling like honey makes me think you might have a taint infection. I suggest washing them in apple cider vinegar. Let me know how it goes. That 540 VA kid, if me, a man, nuts in a girl's butt, you spelled butt wrong, then I nut in her kitty cat emoji, is that okay? Look, there's a lot of things happening here. You can't put your D in a B and then you can't put your dick in a butt and then put it in the girl's coochie. That's just not sanitary. And if you're doing that as a woman, that's cat abuse. That's animal abuse. That's pussy abuse. You can't go from butt to cooch and back. You go in one. You can go coochie to butt. That's okay. I do not recommend going coochie butt coochie. You can go CB, but don't go CBC. No CBC. Okay? And as far as nutting in her butt, congratulations. She probably loves you. So if you don't love her, let her know so she's not wasting her time. And butt sex isn't mutually exclusive with love. I'm just speaking personally. I would seriously stop putting your dick in her butt and then her coochie. That ain't healthy. And you're abusing a cat. Do you want to be that person? Mikey2985 says, Dr. Peluso, why are you so fine? Ooh, you flirting. I am so cute. So cute. So cute. So cute. Can't handle it. I'm so fine because I'm a good person. I'm really a good person. 5.5 Michigan. Oh! I wish you guys could see. 5.5 Michigander. What do you find attractive in a man? I get this question a lot. We can go by my man. He's so thoughtful. He's a very thoughtful person. I think when you're selfless, it's a really attractive quality, but you also stand up for yourself. There's a fine line between, being like a people pleaser, but also having standards for yourself. Confidence is great, but being overly confident dries my coochie up. So having a fine balance. Being funny is obviously great, but joking about everything makes it difficult to go deep. So also be vulnerable. Girls don't mind a little bit of vulnerability. Just, try and find the balance as a man to be able to be vulnerable with the woman, but also shove her down on the bed. We kind of want to be sucker punched, but don't leave a mark. But also communicate. We want you to fucking communicate with us. You guys are terrible at communicating. And it comes from systemic issues as well in society and how you're raised. You gotta be a man. You gotta be a fucking man. Don't cry, but why are you crying? We want you to cry, just not while you're inside of us. That's one of my standard go-tos. But I like a big, strong man. I like a big, strong back, nice hands, strong hands, like body hair. I think I just described Sasquatch, but that's okay, because that's hot. Kimberly Raven Pearson. Hey, girl, I see you. What do I do with a guy that keeps running away and coming back? Bye. Change the number. Delete. Block. Bye-bye. I'm not a yo-yo. Why are you yo-yoing me? Do I look like I'm somebody who wants to play with a yo-yo? Maybe you're into games. If you're a woman that's into games, get into sports because we need you. Get into the WNBA. It needs to become more popular. If you're into games as a woman, play field hockey, bitch. Stop playing with dick hockey. No cocky, hockey. You know what I mean? Get into like actual sports. Learn how to play a team sport. Stop playing games of the heart. It doesn't end well for anybody ever. So pick up a fucking lacrosse stick. Naderade 889. What's the status on those butthole candles? So funny you asked. We are working on our new butthole candles. These are the new scents. And this was the original model. And we're just working on samples. We're working on new samples. We're trying to figure out a more streamlined approach. We sold out of the first order. So the butthole candles will be up and running very soon. Thank you for asking. The Ed Do Butthole is a very successful option for you guys right here. I don't know what that means. Successful option. My brain just a total brain fart. It is a really good smelling candle for men and women. I wanted it, it doesn't smell like a butt. It smells like vanilla and leather, which is kind of what my butt smells like. Remember when I said things shouldn't smell sweet? Oh, God, I'm such a hypocritical cunt. Tim Fresh, 1. Thoughts on relationships after being cheated? I don't think it can work. I don't think it can work because you cheated for a reason, first of all. There's a reason why you cheated. You weren't feeling seen in the relationship. You're selfish in life. You don't know how to communicate what you want, so you'd rather get what you want and have your cake and eat it too type of scenario. Or on the other end of that, you're not present in the relationship. You're not seeing what your other partner needs. Therefore, there's a lack of communication. Therefore, people go get what they need without communicating about it because misery loves company, and it's so much easier to not talk about it, even though it's not easier because it gets messier towards the end, and it just gets a little bit tricky. I had Dr. Donahue on a couple weeks ago, and he made this great point about, if you don't know Dr. Donahue, Dr. Chris Donahue, check him out. He's amazing. He's a very progressive therapist, licensed clinical social worker, and a sex therapist. He says that it's easier for people to basically lie and not deal with it than it is to tell the truth and to deal with the ramifications of that. So you just have to ask yourself, are you more willing to lie or can you handle telling the truth? Because literally in cases of your relationship and in life, the truth literally will set you free. It might be harder and more difficult to tell the truth, but in the long run, it's not worth it. And I don't think relationships, this is just my own personal opinion, I don't think relationships ever go back to the same after being cheated on. I don't think it's possible unless you're open to an open relationship, but then what's the fuck? What's the fucking point? Might as well just be on the market. Might as well just be single. If you're that willing to be back in a relationship with somebody who cheated on you, fucking be single. Go get all the dick. Go get all the dick. But also do some soul searching as to why you're cheating on somebody. That's what should be done. Instead of spending the time getting back into a relationship, each individual should do some soul searching and some self-inventory on why they got cheated on and why they cheated. And then move on because they're not for you. That person's not for you. Brad R. Galbraith asks, who cuts your hair? Who cuts my hair? Look at my hair. It's down to my fucking ass. Nature cuts it. I haven't washed it in a week. I don't really have a hairdresser right now. Right now, my hairdresser is dry shampoo. I'm a fucking slob right now. Lombardo Jess, how you doing, girl? I see you. I just got let go from my job. I'm sick over it. It's something I really enjoyed too. That's okay. Follow the path. You have two choices: to follow the path of being fired and find something new, or fight for your job. Do everything you can to try and get your job back, and if you still don't get it back, then it's not meant for you. You got to change. You got to pivot. This is a great time to do some new shit in your life, to challenge yourself, to get out of your comfort zone, to get a new job, to take some time off, to struggle a little bit, to find your next path. So you either fight for that job or you accept the fact that your life is going in a new direction and follow that. Find something new, discover something new about yourself. It's a great opportunity to change and evolve as a human. So don't be scared, or do be scared and feel it. Feel that fear, because sometimes you discover some really great things about yourself on the other side of fear. So walk through that shit. Adam K212 asks, biggest annoyance. Man, right now, the biggest annoyance is probably people that are personally trying to benefit off of all of the things that are going on in society. Influencers, there's one Instagram page you need to follow. It's Influencers in the Wild. It shows all these Becky bitches and their lattes taking photo ops at the fucking protests in their goddamn high-heeled boots and full fucking makeup. I'm all for bitches getting their face beat and going to protest. But if you're getting your face beat so you can go take a picture at the protest and then take your ass home, no. No. My biggest annoyance is disingenuous people. And people who are benefiting off of other people's struggle. I can't. I'm going to go into the basic waters right now and be like, I can't deal with you, Becky bitches. Becky's and Karens are really letting me down right now. I'm related to a Karen. Care Bear. We call her Care Bear. And feel free to use that phrase if you have a fellow Care Bear in your family. But not that she is like this person I'm describing, but I don't like people who take advantage of other people's struggles for their own benefit. So next time you see one of these Becky bitches taking a photo op in a place where she doesn't belong, I give you the permission to give her a cunt punt. I give you the permission to give her a cunt punt. If you're like, what's a cunt punt? Go to find a woman who's being a Karen, i.e. calling the police on bird-watching black men who are genuinely within their rights to ask you to put a fucking leash on your dog, even though you took your dog and strangled it, like some sort of fucking white supremacist strangling a black person. How ironic was that? Please, feel free to go right up to one of those Karens or Beckys and punt them in the cunt. In other words, kick them in the cooch. A nice kook. How ironic that I say kook when I'm trying to like attack racists. Go ahead, give him a nice coont punch. Kick him in the cooch. Give him a nice kook kit. Punch him in the cunt. I give you all rights to punch him in the cunt. Go ahead. Enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Let's do a little, before we get out of here, I'm glad that we did the Stoned of the Union. I think that's a fun scenario. I got to all of my Dr. Peluso questions. I answer a lot on my IG story, which it's still live right now. If you go, you have time to go and put your question in. I'll either answer it on my Instagram page or I will answer it on the podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to Patreon so you can see the video. It's a lot of fun. I'm so cute. You're also supporting me, so thank you so much for all of my Patreons. You guys are so dope. I have a whole bunch of new subscribers that are supporting all different pledges. So just pick the pledge that works for you. Shout out to Robert Passarella. Hey, Ron Cook. We have Leanne Bryant, Antoine Agaste, Agitasi? Are you agitated that I can't pronounce your name? Kate Hennessy, Brett Charbonneru, JP Valenti, Vinny Irera, Valerie, just Valerie, I love that. And there's a whole bunch of different clubs. You guys can be a part of the Cannabis Christ crew. We've got High Fivers. We also have the Third Eye crew. We also have a couple other options for you guys. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And before we get out of here, let's do a couple Carpe DMs. My favorite segment, Carpe DMs. Let's see. This comes from, now we don't do names. This fella asks, can you tell me more about yourself? Can you Google? I mean, can you tell me more about yourself, sir? What gives you the right to just drop into my DMs and ask for information? By the way, women, this is why we get abducted more than men, because we answer questions. You don't have to answer any questions. And this is a tactic. This is a tactic to get you hooked. Can you tell me more about yourself? He wants to know more about me. He's interested in me. Yeah, bitch, so he can get you in the van and dismember you. You don't watch enough Dateline NBC. My man's like, you got to turn that off. This is fogging up your mind and fucking with your sleep. No, it's not. It's keeping me alert in the streets. This isn't fucking up my sleep. It's keeping me alive in the streets because I'm watching these motherfuckers asking questions. This is how bitches go missing. Can you tell me more about yourself? Yeah, Google me. You'll find out everything you need to know, sir. Okay? Another one. Can I learn more about your background? Do you see what I'm saying? And they ask me because white bitches go missing on vacation all the time. Because we're nosy and we answer questions. You don't have to answer any of these questions. Yeah, also, sir, please see the answer I just gave. Google me. Google me. You want to learn more about me? Google me, please. Go ahead. Get into the little the search engine and type in Jessimae space Peluso. Peluso. It means big and hairy. And if you Google me, you'll learn about that. One more here. See, this is how you get noticed. I want to be your John Stamos. See? He did his own research. This is why this works. He didn't ask me a question. He didn't send me a dick pic. He also complimented me in a sense that I know he's done some research. He knows that I'm obsessed with John Stamos. And he just lays it out there. I want to be your John Stamos. And it could just mean that I appreciate him from afar. Or it can mean that I'm in the bushes trying to see if him and Caitlin are having an argument so I can show up with muffins conveniently timed. and swoop in and be a shoulder to cry on. But the answer to your question is no. Only John Stamos can be my John Stamos. You know that, motherfucker. You know that because you Googled. You know. You tried. I appreciate you, but the answer is no. It's a big fat no for me. But a big fat yes. Yes, because we made it. Another fucking day. We did it. So what are you going to do with today? What are you going to do with it? Because it's not guaranteed. We know that now. We can no longer live in the fucking moment. It doesn't serve society. It doesn't serve future generations. There's got to be a balance. We got to start with those small steps. Start nipping racism in the bud. Start nipping it. Nip it. Whether it's your aunt, the bitch at the grocery store, some bitch on a walk in the park, a cop's holding other cops accountable. Let's do it together. Support your friends. My girl Phoebe Robinson, check out her book, You Can't Touch My Hair. It's fantastic. And you guys, honestly, I know I say this probably every episode, but I really appreciate you. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you leaving reviews, good or bad, even though I still think you should just DM me your bad reviews so you give me an option and an opportunity to learn and take your constructive criticism and put it to play. Allow me that opportunity or go get a fucking podcast. If you're the type of person that wants to leave a negative review, you're missing an opportunity to take that review, put it through your mouth into the airwaves. Okay, sir? But I really do appreciate you guys. This podcast has been keeping me alive through this time. I don't have a platform. I can't be on a stage right now. So hopefully that changes soon. But Who knows? Who knows? It could be 2022 and I've grown a beard and I'm like, fuck it, we should burn down the White House. I'm just kidding. Please don't shoot me. But, stranger things have happened. Stranger fucking things. So wake up. If you do wake up, do something with your day that has nothing to do with you. That's how we start to make small changes. We need to change our individual habits so that we can create a new routine for society. And I hope the new routine for society is true equality, is giving people opportunities to succeed in their own endeavors. Not that we shouldn't have some struggles, because struggles are the things that help us overcome and achieve what we want to achieve and achieve those bigger goals. But still, I think we have to get rid of this systemic racism that exists and give people opportunities so they can also achieve something wonderful in life. I think that's a fair endeavor for all of us. So I hope you guys are living. I hope you're surviving. Fuck that. I try and change my language. I hope you're thriving through this time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, sending me messages. I try and get to all the messages I can. You guys are so supportive, and thank you to the one fellow who asked. Well, he didn't ask. He wanted to be my John Stamos. But as we all know, only Johnny Boy can be my John Stamos. I wonder if my vibrator's charged.